They had been written off, accused of being apathetic and apolitical. Most in Mexico believed that young people would sit out this upcoming presidential election. But a growing protest movement has galvanized opinion. Thousands have taken to the streets in the capital and throughout the country, changing the perception of Mexico's youth. The students come from every educational sector, the ultra-elite colleges to public institutions. But they all have one thing in common: frustration.
We don't want Mexicans to be in the dark, confused and stupid. We think it's time to stop all of this, and we're calling on young people who are sick of the press's manipulation to join our movement.
A lot of it is aimed at the mass media and what they perceive as favoritism for Enrique Peña Nieto, presidential candidate for the Institutional Revolutionary Party, or PRI, which ruled Mexico for 7 decades. Peña Nieto got a hostile reception when he visited a private university. He later accused the hecklers of not being students, but paid members of the opposition. The students fought back by making a video of themselves showing their school ID cards. Within a week, participation in the protest went from the hundreds to tens of thousands. Voters between the ages of 18 and 30 make up more than 20% of the electorate here in Mexico. Most of these students didn't even grow up under a pre-government, but they're making their voices heard. And the youth vote could be a deciding factor in the upcoming presidential elections. It's an important political awakening for a new generation.
Most of the time, it's these small events that provoke an explosion of anger. And what we need to see is if there are the conditions that could make a revolution possible. Those conditions exist in Mexico just as they did in Egypt and Libya.
Maria Jose Lopez says it's the first time she feels she can make a difference.
It's a real feeling of empowerment, coming together with a multitude of people who think the same way you do, but whose voices were never heard.
Voices that Mexico's next president, whoever it is, will have to listen to. From a generation that grew up under the beginnings of a democratic Mexico and a belief that the nation's destiny is their own. Rachel Levin, Al Jazeera, Mexico City.